Shalom. My message is very, very simple. I stand with Israel. And I stand before you a proud American. Hamas is a terrorist organization that threatens peace not only in Israel, but all throughout the world.
That's right.
All throughout the world. So I am proud as an American, I am proud as a Marine and soldier, and I am proud as a United States Congressman to stand with you and my friends in government, Mark and Dov, to stand with all of you with Israel. God bless you, and God bless the United States and the Jewish state of Israel, our sister state. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Michael, so what do you think of the crowd?
Unbelievable. It's a great turnout. I think it shows community support for Israel. And it's, one of the things you notice, it's very peaceful. It's a peaceful demonstration. That's the type of thing you would expect, but also a lot of energy. People are obviously concerned about what's going on in Gaza and concerned about the future of Israel. But I think what you also heard is this overtone of it's not just about Israel, and I think that's a major point. When you're dealing with terrorism, you're talking about the entire Western world and the United States in particular. So it's a plea to stop terrorism, stop Hamas, not only for Israel, but for the United States as well. And that's why I think you see a lot of American flags waving among our flags of Israel, to make sure that the world sees that the United States stands with Israel. And even though there may be daylight because of perceptions from the Obama administration, the U.S. Congress and the people stand with Israel.
Now, when you go back to Washington, what are you going to be telling your colleagues?
Well, I will tell you this. We just voted Friday night before we left. The last vote was to fund the Iron Dome. And it was an overwhelmingly bipartisan vote. So I think my colleagues already know where they stand. They stand with Israel. They strongly support our ally, our most important ally in the Middle East, and they're going to continue to do so. We're going to continue to put pressure on the Obama administration to do the right thing and support our allies, because I think it's not just Israel, but a lot of our allies are questioning this administration's allegiance. So it's extremely important that we make sure the world knows where we stand.
Now, many feel President Obama was very weak, is very weak with the way he's handling this whole situation, and in general with many countries, with Turkey, with Israel, Egypt, and on and on and on.
Well, I think that's a result of not having a foreign policy. I mean, I think that the criticism, there's been a lot of criticism, and rightfully so, that the Obama administration does not have a foreign policy. And I say that because why would anyone unilaterally decide to take our missile defense out of Poland? That was a mistake. It emboldened Russia. To add insult to injury, Russia really only has one ally in the Middle East, and that's Syria. And then we relied on Russia to try to broker a deal with their only ally, Syria, to get rid of chemical weapons. And I think that sent us a message to our enemies that now's the time to push the envelope. We also lessened sanctions on Iran, the opposite of what we should be doing. Iran is racing towards nuclear weapons, but when they see the way we're handling Syria, we're basically, the president drew a red line and then backed off, drew another red line, backed off again. It does show weakness, and probably there's two big outcomes from that weakness. Our allies don't trust us, and they don't have faith in us, and our enemies get emboldened and they push the envelope even more. And that's what you've seen with Russia going into Crimea. That's what you see with North Korea rattling its saber as often as they can. That's what you see with Iran getting even closer towards nuclear weapons with really no ending in sight for them, because what is the United States really doing? So all of these issues combined don't just show weakness, but it shows, I think, a naivete for the world stage. And we have certainly lost our position on the world stage, but we've emboldened countries like Russia and have put them back on the world stage when they really weren't there prior to the Syria incident. So a series of missteps gives a country like Israel a reason to say, look, we can't be 100% confident that the United States is going to be behind us, so we're going to do what we have to do. And I for one, respect Prime Minister Netanyahu for being a leader. As a Marine, and he's a soldier, and I met with him when I was in Israel, I have a lot of respect for the man. He is a true leader. He leads from the front, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to keep his people safe. And I would do the same. And I think that as Americans and as we've lived through 9/11, we understand safety is paramount. And the number one purpose of any government needs to be to keep its citizens safe. So Israel's doing what it must do to protect its citizens, and the United States needs to stand with them.